It's a tough job market, not only to find a job, but to keep one you're happy with and keep it. Best-selling author Bob Rosner is here with us this morning. And Bob, thank you for waking up early with us. First of all, for those of us looking for work, what are some of the most effective ways to go out and find a job?
Networking, networking, networking. One of the problems is people think networking is handing out your business card on buses. It's not. It's people who know you who will vouch for you. Little secret, the hidden job market. I once talked to an HR director who said to me, you know, if I don't fill a position through my network, I failed. The key is you want to get in that hidden job network by having people talk you up. So it's networking. Online job boards are okay, but if you really want to get a job, it's who you know and having them talk you up.
That's right. More who you know than what you know, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And for those of us trying to, we have a job, but we're looking to get ahead now, what can we do if we feel like we're stuck at work or in the job we have?
Well, 2/3 of workers say that they're stuck on the job.
Really?
Yeah, there are a lot of people who are looking for work, a lot of people are frustrated. There's a bunch of things. One is education is really important. Do you know 2.5 million people in Washington State don't have a bachelor's degree or a master's degree, and yet 48% of the jobs in Washington State require it. So
Wow.
Your community college, WGU, getting education is one way to get unstuck. The other part of stuck is your own head, and to be basically always looking for opportunities.
Okay.
Is one of the real keys.
All right, now you're going to be sharing some of this advice not once, but twice today. Tell everybody
Yes.
where they can find it.
We're doing it at noon and 7 o'clock at the community college, Spokane Community College. Great people. They really want to provide information. I'm going to answer every question you got. My feeling is that I'm going to give my email address. I'm going to hang around as long as it takes. If you've got a job or work question, I'm there for you. We're going to try to get them all answered.
Very good. And then you saw all the book information and where he's going to be on your screen there. And Bob will rejoin us later in the hour with some advice for the ladies that actually might surprise you. And Robin will be talking to him more about that coming up in just a little bit here on Good Morning Northwest.
Are you looking for a job? Are you trying to get ahead in the one you have? Well, today could be your lucky day. We are joined again by Bob Rosner, who is in town to help us live and survive in this job market. And I liked that you have something special to tell the women, and it's something we don't normally hear.
There was a study done, and they looked at women as leaders. And what they found was women were chosen as leaders 33% less. And the reason is that they don't brag enough. Men and women both talk themselves up the same amount, but men do it more and go further. So one of the things women have to start doing is bringing up their accomplishments and making people more aware of it. It's not the tendency of women, but if you want to get ahead with the men, you got to do it.
Wow, and that's something that we don't like to do that. We don't like to, you know, put ourselves up. We would like to build other people up.
I know, but there's a time. I'll give you a classic case. When your boss gives you a compliment, what do? You dismiss it. No, it's really anybody. Thank you. Accept it. If you start to diminish your boss's compliments, he or she may believe you that you don't deserve the compliments. Accept compliments.
I like it. I like it a lot. Well, a question for both men and women. What can we do to get our bosses or potential employers to, you know, notice us above somebody else?
Well, the problem is it's busy out there. And when it's busy out there, people don't connect the dots for you. Kind of back to bragging, you've got to connect the dots for them. They're not going to do it on their own. So when you do something really good and you find them in a good mood, go in and talk to them. And then start bringing up the subject of getting a raise.
All right, and that's kind of like a timing thing.
Exactly.
It's like you kind of
exactly.
Just you don't have your crystal ball to figure out what your boss is going to feel like. You got to just wait for the right time.
Study your boss. Find out, are they a morning person, afternoon person, are big projects, has big customer come in? You know, you got to find those opportunities. But there's nothing quite like finding your boss in a good mood.
Yes, and hopefully you'll find yours in a good mood more than other times. What about going back to school and getting more education? Is it right for everybody? How do you know?
Well, the problem in Washington, I mentioned earlier, 2.5 million people do not have a bachelor's or master's. And the predictions are by the end of the decade, 67% of jobs will require it. So the community college is a great resource. Another great resource, Western Governors University, WGU.wa. $6 grand to go to school for a year and you can accelerate. So there's great resources out there. The problem is people get stuck. People don't feel that they can go ahead. If you're willing to break out of the mold and put a little extra effort in, you could open yourself up to a whole new range of possibilities.
All right, and Bob will answer any question you have. He'll be there until the last question is answered at Spokane Community College. Here's the information. You can either go to the morning session or late morning, early afternoon at 11:30 or at the 6:30 tonight session. And again, I'll post that information for you on Facebook. Bob, thank you so much for coming in.
Great to meet you, Robin.
Good to meet you, too. We'll be back after this.
Bob Rosner is a best-selling author and expert on workplace issues with 2013 just around the corner. He has one big resolution many working adults should think about in the new year, and that's earning a college degree. And Bob, just tell us again why it's more important now than ever.
Well, one of the issues is more college equals more money and more jobs. It's a very simple equation. The problem is a lot of people don't feel that they have access to education, but education plays a huge role in the workplace.
Yeah, and for many of us, college, it's, like you said, don't think they have access, many times because they think it's expensive. What's your advice on the cost issue?
Well, years ago, college used to provide us a boost in our careers and our lives. Today, because of the cost issues, it's increasingly a barrier. Let me give you some numbers that are amazing. About 30 years ago, the difference between prosperous people and poor people who had college degrees was about 31%. Now it's 45%.
Wow.
So people are getting left out of things. The good news in Washington State is you have community and technical colleges, about $4,000 a year, two great schools here in Spokane, and Western Governors University, Washington, a master's degree, a bachelor's degree, $6,000 a year. So there are inexpensive options out there to get you what you want with your New Year's resolution, college degree.
And what kind of degrees are we seeing people going back to get now?
Well, both schools have a lot of emphasis in the following areas: business, IT, healthcare, nursing, and teaching, because those are where a lot of jobs are. So the great thing, the other part, is they're used to non-traditional students. For people who've been working for a long time, it's scary to go back to college. But the community technical colleges and Western Governors University, Washington, are used to dealing with non-traditional students. So they know how to handle your issues.
All right. Your website, workplace911.org. I was going to say, make sure I got that part right. We'll be back to talk more with Bob about 4 things working adults should consider when picking a college. That's coming up in about a half hour. We'll be right back. Add getting a college degree to your list of New Year's resolutions. Best-selling author and workplace expert Bob Rosner joins us one more time. And I guess, Bob, why should working adults consider going back to school in the new year?
Well, during the recession, we just wanted to have a job.
Sure.
But now we want more. I've personally responded to 50,000 emails. What I hear from people is they feel stuck. If you want to get ahead, if you want to change careers, having a college degree is the power tool to get you where you want to go.
Okay. How does someone know then what the best option for them is to, further their career?
Well, I've got 4 options to look at. One is it the right credential? You want to leave with a degree or a certificate in an area that you're really passionate about pursuing. There's a lot of online assessments to help you figure that out. Is it legit? Accreditation is a big deal. You want the college you go to be accredited just like the big schools.
Sure.
Fit. Does it fit your lifestyle? Can you make the classes work? Do you get a lot of support? And affordable. And I talked about the fact that the community technical colleges, about $4,000 a year. Western Governors University, Washington, about $6,000 a year. You don't have to pile on the debt to get your degree.
Okay, and that a lot of busy adults are finding time by taking those online classes, but what's the perception, do you think, of those? Because you also hear the stories of these diploma mills that are bunk kind of services.
Well, Western Governors University, WGU, Washington, where I work, is online, and it's a nonprofit, and it's inexpensive, so it's reasonably priced. But increasingly, the odds are, if you're watching this segment, you could be watching it on TV. You could also be watching it online.
Sure.
Our lives are moving online. Our work is moving online. To me, the issue is not only what you study, but how you study. And increasingly, online is how we're learning. You're actually going to be a more disciplined and focused contributor at work if you're used to living in the online universe. So I think online schools are getting more and more credibility because that's where our lives are moving.
All right, Bob's website is workplace911.org. You can also find him on Twitter at workplace911, and you can see WGU's sign just outside of Ephrata as well. We'll be right back.